All right. Welcome to this tutorial. I hope you've been enjoying all our sessions on this class today. I'll be showing you how to draw three-dimensional objects. Three-dimensional objects look similar to isometric drawing. In case you have missed our session on isometric drawing, you can go back to some of the videos we've done on this YouTube and every of our videos to see how we achieve drawing isometric objects. Now, without wasting much of your time, I'm going to start with 2D and I will migrate to 3D. So, and another way we can draw 3D is by drawing three-dimensional objects. So I'm going to show you the two, so you now know the one that suits you most. All right, I'm going to start with a rectangle. I draw a rectangle. Let me dimension the rectangle. Dimension, I need a rectangle of 80 by 100. 80 by 100. 80 by 100. So, and I click. So I need to use my navigation tool, which is the zoom window, so that I can have it positioned a bit well. Good. So that is 80 by 100. It's a 2D object because I use 2D tool to draw it. I also need a circle. I need a circle. I need a circle. Now this time around, I need a circle of radius of 50. Good. I'm going to pan that and move that circle closer to where I have my rectangle. The last thing I'm going to draw again, I'm still going to draw this circle, but I'm going to copy this one and later offset it by 10. Let me copy it. Now I want to offset this. What is offset? Offset is a way of reproducing the same object but with a reduced dimension. So this time around, I want to offset it by 10. So I'll click and drop it inward. You can see, so I've offset this object now. So the next thing I want to do is, let me see if there are other things I could do there. I think I'm okay with that. Let me see polygon. Let me do for polygon. Let me do a polygon of 5 sides. Enter the center here. Inscribe about a circle of, let me on my auto mode. I need it to inscribe about a circle of, I need it to inscribe about a circle of, let me say a circle of 25. Good. So I can also offset this by 10 outward. So you can see. Now all these objects I've drawn here now, I want to turn them back to 3D, and that is the essence of our class here. I want to turn all these objects back to 3D. So 3D, that is how I want to turn all the objects to now. So I just want you to patiently watch how I'm going to do the magic so that you also can be able to do the magic on your screen. All right. So once you have drawn your 3D object, let me offset the rectangle. So let me copy the rectangle. Let me copy the rectangle. Let me copy it to this side. Now let me pan the whole window. Good, so that we can have all our objects. Now let me offset the rectangle by 10 inward. 10 inward. Good, so it can be like a frame. Now we have like 1, 2, 3, we have 5 objects here. Now I want to turn them to 3D objects. So how do you do that? You come to this view cube and flashing. Now come to any of the angle, maybe the southwest, just click it. Is the view cube. You now see it now changes this screen, this window to XYZ plane. See the user coordinate system I'm flashing on. Before, this is what you have, XY, 2D. Now, this is what we have now, XYZ, 3D object. space. Now, how do we go about this? Now, when you are on your 3-dimension and you want to convert your 2D to 3D objects, these are some of the ways you do. Now, for object that doesn't have hollow, see what you are going to command. You say that extrude, press enter. I want to extrude by a height of 50. Extrude. Those ones that doesn't have hollow, click, press enter, and drag your hand up or down depending on where the object wants to be. I want to extrude by 50, and that will give me a 3D object. This is not isometric now. Now, extrude. I want to extrude that circle that is not hollow. Click, extrude up by 50. Now, for hollow objects, you will not use extrude. You will use press pull, press and pull. So when you want to use press pull, let me use the zoom so you can see what I'm trying to do. When you want to use the press pull, mind you, press pull works for hollow objects whereby you don't need to pull this space. You want to pull this in between the hollow. You can see all the hollow part is now blue. Here is white, but once you bring your mouse, click and drag your hand up by 50 because it's hollow. Now, you might not appreciate all this drawing now. I'm going to change the interface. I'm going to change the interface. This is the second thing I'm changing after changing the space so that you can see them in 3D. So how do I change the interface? So you come to your view, sorry, you come to, so I want to change the do under visualize, you will change the visual style. Don't forget, yesterday we were dealing with snap style for isometric. If you missed that video, go back and see. So now we are going to change to realistic or conceptual. So how it will look like in real life. This is how it will look like in real life. These are what you are drawing scenes. Now, I want to do the 3-dimension for the order. So what am I going to do? Press pull, because that part is what? Is hollow. It has hollow. So you bring your hand in between. Now, this now is giving me issue. Let me come here. So I can take my zoom closer to it. Closer. Now press pull this interface. You can see, and drag your hand by 50. Now, there is a way, another way I can still achieve that press pull. Don't forget, we use two options, two operations to produce this 3D. Number one is for solids like this. All I just did is extrude. For hollow like this, I use press pull. But I can also still use press pull for this, but I want to use another option, and that is I'm going to extrude each of them individually. I'll first of all extrude the inner one. I want to extrude it by 20. Now I want to extrude the outer one by 50. Now, what I'm going to do next is I want to subtract, sorry, let me give them the same height so that you can see how to produce press pull from two extrusion. Extrude the inner object, please extrude this object for me by 50. And I also want you to extrude the outer object by 50. Good. Now, you will now do what we call subtract. Subtract. How do you subtract in mathematics? You take the bigger object, press enter, and locate the smaller object, which is the solid. Press enter and punch your enter. So let me repeat it. Press, click, solid, press enter, sorry. Select the outer object, enter, and select the inner. You can see the inner object, press enter and punch enter. So I'm going to have my 3D extrusion using two methods of work. Now you can see that all these objects are not complex objects. They are smaller objects. They are smaller objects. Now I'm going to produce complex object that will require us to assemble things together. All right. So you can see my screen. I want to start a new thing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a rectangle. Now I'm going to draw the rectangle, hold this, right click, dimension. I want to do it 50 by 100. 50 by 100 and click. So let me use my zoom tool. Now I'm drawing complex objects. Now I want to draw complex objects now, unlike the single one you saw the other time. All right. So I'm going to pick a circle and draw a circle at the middle, and ensure the circle touches the edge, the other edge. I'm going to do the same here. If you want to locate the middle of an object, just hold your shift right click and select midpoint. To locate the middle of any object, just override. So once I'm done with this, what else can I do? I can trim off, right click and trim off undesired part. Trim off any undesired part. Now I want to offset this circle by 20 by 20. Yeah, so you can see that I've done that. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to, you see all these objects now, they are seeing themselves as single entity. Take for instance, if I select now, you can see. So but what I want to do is I can join them, or you can region later, join them. You can join all the lines and everything there, so that by the time you want to call, it will show you join those parts. Now, how do you change this to 3D? You come to your view cube, change this part. You can see. Now, don't forget, you go to your visualize, come to your visual style, change it to realistic. Now, the next thing you do is extrude. I'm going to extrude this part. I want to extrude it up. You can see you are extruding. But this is not what I want to achieve. And what I want to achieve is very simple. I will trim off this part so that I can have it better join everywhere. I want to join everything so that I can have this good. I want to extrude. I can extrude this now. You can see I want to extrude it. Let's say I want to extrude it by 20. I extruded it downward. The same thing I'm going to do for the circle. Locate the circle. Select the circle and extrude the circle downward or upward, depending on whatever you want to achieve. Are you getting it? If you extrude the circle upward or downward, just give it something bigger than the height, maybe 40. This is a complex object, Ctrl G. I can subtract so that I can create that hollow. Select the bigger object, press enter, and select the other object, press enter. So if I rotate this object, if I should rotate the object, if I should rotate or orbit, let me orbit it. If I should orbit it, you see nothing happens. So, but what I can do, Ctrl Z, I can still do something with this by moving it downward. You can move it downward, 3D move, you can move it downward. If I move it downward a bit, oh, that's not gonna work there. But I'm going to show you what you can convert this to in a GIF for you. So if I should orbit what I've produced, you will see I've created a hollow for you. So orbit. So that is how to create complex objects. Now, in the next 5 minutes, I will not say much. I just want to do something that I amaze you now. No problem. So that will amaze you now. So I'm coming to home. These are some of the ways we draw 3D. 3D is just complexity of 2D objects. Don't forget, I told you that the best way to start doing your 3D is to know how to draw 2D. Take for instance, I want to draw this object. Let's say I have this object 450 length. Let me zoom it very well. I'm gonna zoom this object very well so you can see what I'm drawing. All right. Now, since I have this, I want to draw something. And I want everybody to be attentive. Whatever you are doing now, I want you to stop it so you can look at what I'm trying to do. So let me have this. Let me have this. So I want you to watch what I'm drawing. Let me trim off this other part. Now I want to join everything. Join. I have to join everything. So good, I've joined it. Let me draw another line as the axis here. So I have this drawn. Now let me change it to my 3D. Then I'll go to my visualize. In case you don't have that, just change it to your realistic. Some people's visualize is in their home. So this I have drawn. Everybody, I want you to pay attention to what I am drawing now. This I'm drawing, so zoom back. All right, I've drawn this profile. Is a 2D object. So what I want to do with it, let me region it or leave it. Let me revolve. I want to revolve the flat surface, this object that I've drawn, over this axis. So revolve, press enter. I'll select this, press enter, select the axis, this to this place, and do it in 360. So you can see the object that I was able to draw with that 3D profile you saw me. And that is how 3D objects can be formed. The major thing is when you are doing it, know how to make use of you can see it has a hollow and it looks like these are pulley using gym or whatever. So I can change the color. I can turn the color to other color I like. Just come to color. Just have this color. Let me change it to red or green, any color I like. So you can see it realistically. So I have this object and that is how I can draw it. So I'm going to need your question now. If you have any question, just punch your screen open and ask me any question.